Let me say this plainly, like the natural flow of the universe Alan Watts often spoke of. In your life, there is someone close, someone dear. Perhaps they're within your circle of trusted people. Maybe you see them every day, or exchange messages with them. Maybe you've shared your deepest thoughts with them, opening your heart to the universe. But the truth, like a quiet breeze Watts urged us to listen to, is something you haven't yet wanted to admit. That person is not truly on your side. They are a silent enemy, harboring dislike for you. Not through clear words, not through open actions, but deep within their soul, quietly, without declaration. You don't see it, you don't suspect it, but you feel it. You can't explain it, but your body tenses in their presence. Your chest tightens, your energy drains. Your intuition, like the inner compass Alan Watts called the voice of the universe, begins to sound an alarm. But your mind silences that voice. It can't be, you think. They smile. They say they're proud of you. They're always there for you. Your reason fights the truth, because acknowledging it means dismantling an entire layer of relationships, memories, and trust. But what if I told you, as Watts once reminded us, that truth often hides in the natural flow, that the most dangerous enemy isn't the one who confronts you, but the one who sits at your table? Hatred doesn't always come from those who openly declare war. It often seeps from the words of those who claim, "I support you." They don't destroy you directly, they don't push you away, but they don't let you rise either. They do everything to make you doubt yourself, to lead you astray. It could be someone close, family, a partner, an old friend. Their weapon isn't shouting, but silence. Not a blow, but a mocking smile. Not conflict, but concern that creeps in, laced with control. Their advice is wrapped in a veneer of envy, disguised as care. In Alan Watts's philosophy, this is the shadow in the soul, the parts of themselves they cannot reconcile, so they unconsciously unload them onto you. Your success is a mirror, reflecting the shortcomings they dare not face. Your light is a lamp, illuminating the hidden corners within them. And here's the trap. You've mistaken their silent criticism for care, their worry for protection, their restraint for loyalty. You want to believe it's love beside you, but in reality it's dependency, disguised as closeness. You do what you always do. Make excuses, find reasons, dismiss the warning signs. This isn't your oversensitivity, it's your intuition trying to save you. Have you ever wondered why their story always matters more than yours? Why, when you share your joy, the conversation suddenly shifts? Why do they subtly, but consistently, remind you of your mistakes, failures, weaknesses? It's not because they dislike you, but because your light is unbearable to them, because you represent what they fear in themselves, and so you must be diminished. This is the most dangerous form of hatred, not loud, but cloaked in care. Some people are only by your side when you're beneath them, when you're admirable but not enviable, when you're convenient, but the signs are always there. They don't hate what you do, but who you are. Because your presence is a challenge, your authenticity is a threat, your growth is their pain. This isn't a reason to stop trusting, but a reminder to learn to discern, to stop romanticizing toxicity just because it comes from someone close. If someone destroys you, they're not worth it. They are destruction. Examine those around you. Listen to your body, your intuition. Betrayal rarely comes with a knife. It comes with a smile and the words, "I'm doing this because I love you." When you realize it, don't explain, don't justify, don't ask permission to leave. Just leave. Because your inner peace matters more than any relationship built on envy. And the scariest thing, beyond the presence of someone who silently dislikes you, as Alan Watts might say, is when you unwittingly become your own greatest enemy. When you stay too long in an environment where envy masquerades as care, where control poses as involvement, a silent destruction begins within you. First, you doubt others' intentions, then you doubt yourself. That's their greatest victory. They no longer need to hurt you. They've planted the habit of self-harm in you. You start downplaying your successes before others can question them. You suppress your joy, shrink your ambitions, silence your dreams. Why? Because at some point, you learn that standing out is dangerous. Every time you shine, someone nearby grows cold, makes a cutting remark, gives a forced laugh, or wraps it all in sarcasm. And without realizing it, you start dimming your light to avoid hurting anyone. This isn't humility, it's deep programming. You were taught to fear your own light. Gradually, you feel guilty for achieving more than others, as if success is betrayal, as if prosperity is a threat. But that's a lie, a profound lie. Those who turn away when you flourish were never truly with you. The voice that says, "Don't stand out, don't shine too brightly, don't think you deserve more," that's not your voice. It's their fear implanted in you. It's the second shadow, the inner darkness, fed by others' poison until you harm yourself. And the most insidious thing happens. You start choosing people who reinforce this script, who are comfortable with your smallness but lost in your strength. Because it's familiar, because the brain seeks what's familiar, even if it's misery. You build a life around a circle where you can't be yourself, where growth is a threat, freedom is betrayal. You call it my people, my personality, my comfort zone. But that's not you. That's what others have done to you. That's the residue of staying too long with those who only know how to hold you back, not let you go. Those people confuse love with control, care with dependency. They want you average but not radiant, stable but not joyful, close but not free. The biggest question is, do you see it? Because the real issue isn't just someone silently disliking you, but that you've become the version of yourself that bothers the fewest people, and you call that humility. But in truth, it's fear. When you start healing, not only does your inner state change, but the people around you shift too. Relationships, directions change. Everything built on need, fear, and emotional manipulation crumbles. Some relationships only exist when you're weak. When you grow stronger, they fall apart. The pain isn't from losing someone, but from realizing they were never truly with you. Have you noticed some people can't handle your growth? When you're more confident, they say, "You've changed, you're not the same." But you haven't changed, you just no longer fit the version of you they found convenient. Your growth takes away their purpose. Your confidence exposes their weaknesses. Your freedom breaks the script where they needed you to feel validated. That's why they want to hold you back. Not out of love, but control. The price of freedom is loneliness, temporary, but necessary. You'll doubt, you'll hurt, you'll reach for the familiar, because growth always comes with pain. But retreating hurts more, because living in a cage, however comfortable, isn't truly living. And in that emptiness, something new is born. Different people appear, those who don't need you to shrink to feel secure, who aren't afraid of your light. Then you'll understand. You weren't too sensitive, too difficult, or the problem. You were just in the wrong place. And that's when life truly begins. Because when you no longer fight to prove your right to exist, you start to breathe, love, create, live without guilt, without a mask, without needing permission. That's what scares those who wear masks, that you dare to live authentically. Stop playing the role others wrote for you. When you play that role, you're trapped in their play. You're an actor without creative control. Life becomes a stage without authenticity. But what happens when you step out of that role? Silence, emptiness, loneliness, fear. Because when the mask falls, it's terrifying at first. But beyond the fear is opportunity. For the first time, you can write your own script, unedited, unafraid, untouched by others. And here's the hard but necessary question, as Alan Watts might ask: who are you when no one is watching? Not the version you pretend to be, not what people say about you, not the role you accept to avoid disappointing anyone. Who are you when you stop pleasing others? Who are you when you don't compromise your conscience for false harmony? Most don't know the answer. Because they've lived so long by others' expectations, they've forgotten who they were before. And that's the most painful blow. If you don't know who you are, anyone can tell you who you should be, and you'll agree, without resistance, without defense. But things are different now. From this moment, it's your time to reclaim the version of you that you buried. You before the judgments, before the hurts, before you were taught to ask permission to exist. Remember that child, the dreamer, the vibrant, authentic, youthful version of you, who wanted freedom, strength, and didn't know the world doesn't forgive those who don't conform. Talk to that child. Ask what they dreamed of before they were forced to be silent. Because healing isn't just about leaving those who oppress you. It's about dismantling their voices echoing in your head. It's about breaking the prison you built from their stones. Even when the enemy is gone, the bars remain. But the key is always in your hands. This video isn't just a warning, but a mirror, a call, in the spirit of Alan Watts to see yourself as part of the universe, needing no permission to shine. Maybe you've been waiting for someone to come, to give you permission, validation, recognition, hope. But the greatest act of love you can receive in this life is the love you give yourself. If you find this video meaningful, please subscribe to The Story Unveiled and join our Telegram. Thank you for watching. This journey isn't just about recognizing those who silently dislike you, but about returning to yourself the free version, unhidden, needing no shrinking to please anyone. As Alan Watts once said, "You are the universe experiencing itself, and the universe is never wrong for being itself." Step forward with courage, let your light lead the way. Let those who don't belong in your journey fall away. When you live authentically, you don't just find peace, you discover the strength to write your own story, one unedited by fear or others' expectations. May you always find joy in being yourself, strength to love without fear, and freedom to create without permission. Keep exploring the mysteries of the soul and the universe with us by subscribing to The Story Unveiled. Thank you for being here, and let your light guide the way.